Alex? You're making eggs. You say eggs are easy. You say eggs are quick. What are you doing over there with those eggs, man?
Just cooking them in a frying pan.
He says he's cooking them in a frying pan for all you listeners at home. I can see it. Is that
Do it
easy?
about medium heat.
I like them
Put it right at about a 5.
over easy.
Yep, that's how I like to do it.
Yeah. Got a piece of toast? You got to do toast with it?
No, I can't do the carbs right now, guys.
No carbs.
Man, go for a piece of toast, bacon.
But no. You have jujitsu coming up.
So right when it's looking like that, you see
Or you just not give a shit about the weight and feel good. Because this is a huge part of the psyche, feeling good. Are you your best fighter when you feel good or when you feel
I don't know.
hungry?
I feel like I remember when I was, 180, and I felt good. I felt strong.
Man, I've always been a big believer that strength is a state of mind, especially in a wrestling match, in a fight, in any physical in rugby. It's strength is a mentality. You're always strong, whether the muscles are there. It's all there, and if you just give yourself the confidence to think you're going into this the strongest, the most prepared, it's a state of mind. Getting into that state of mind means you gotta eat 6 eggs because you grew up thinking Rocky eats eggs for breakfast, then I got to eat eggs for breakfast because that's what makes me strong. If that's what gets you in that state of mind,
Right.
if it's not cutting weight, if it's not being starved and hungry, because there's a lot of guys that feel like they can only win when they're hungry. It's a very foreign concept to you, huh? Because you come from a hunter provider. The more you eat, the stronger you are. 100%.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's like if food is plentiful and like around, it's good to fill yourself because you don't get that opportunity every day.
Absolutely.
You might not get to.
There's not too many civilizations that have been able to eat in such excess. We can go pick up 60 eggs for $10 because we put value on dollars. It used to be whatever you brought in was what you ate. You had to go out and hunt and collect, and that's whereas if you had a great provider, you had a really strong man that was always bringing home the meat, or a strong woman that always brought home the meat, and that's what made you strong. That's what gave you that state of mind of strength. You see it a lot in honor cultures, in their anthropological studies. You should eat more eggs, bro.
More eggs.
I feel like that's a heavyweight mentality. You're gonna pick at some of those M&Ms. You're gonna have another half.
Oh, this guy.
You're gonna have another half a banana. You're gonna have to chug 40 ounces of water. Anytime you have one of those thoughts to have those M&Ms, to have those chips, to eat that bread, chug 40, dude. Chug 40, bro. You can't go wrong. That's wait. It's gonna crave it. Whatever you were thinking of, it's gonna crave that desire for that because your body loves water. Your brain is your tongue, your senses is telling you to eat something because it's delicious, but your body really wants water. It loves water. Body gets water and it's like brain happy. Trick it for as long as you can, and that's weight you can always cut back. It's water weight. Cutting water weight's way easier than cutting the carb weight. You can cut water weight all day. Build water weight.
How much you think we could cut water weight in?
It depends on how much your body retains. I don't
In the last 72 hours.
of cutting water weight.
Yeah, before
A lot.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on how hydrated you are, probably close to anywhere between 5 and 10 pounds within 24 hours. And then I'd say 15 to 20 with risk of organ damage. If you rehydrate properly immediately afterwards and you keep the window of dehydration timeline minimum.
Oh my god, dude. Holy fuck.
Laugh on the mic, asshole. If it's that funny, laugh on the mic. Now, I really know a lot about cutting weight. I really do. I really do, man. It's seriously, it's something I've been doing. It's something I've been doing since I was 5 years old. It's something that I've been managing with my friends since we were 5 years old. Like, this is something like we constantly discussed and tried to figure out.
You were a 5-year-old cutting weight.
I was a 5-year-old wrestling. I wouldn't say I started cutting weight. Okay, so yeah, I wouldn't say I started cutting weight till sophomore year, when I shot from 129 to 171 between freshman and sophomore year, and then I was cutting down to make 160, and go varsity from about 170 pounds. So,
You were looking to go varsity.
Yeah. I could take out. I couldn't beat the 171 guy, but I knew I could beat the 160 pounder, so I was making the cut, and I was gonna go take his spot.
Fuck yeah.
That's the game. That's how iron sharpens iron.
How'd that go? Did you challenge him? Did you point him out?
Yeah, Jake Walker. I challenged. Well, I had to make the weight first. When I made the weight, I got a challenge match at the end of a Friday practice, and I beat him 6-5. Takedowns.
Nice.
Yep.
You won that roster spot.
The high school level. What just happened there? I yelled. Oh, you touched the mic. Well, cool. But we do. Okay, so let's have a serious roommate conversation. If we're in this quarantine thing. What do you think of bringing others into this place? Strangers, neighbors. Where are we? I mean, do you have concern? And is it concern that they're going to give it to us? Because I'm pretty sure we have it.
I think we are all infected.
Oh, we are.
I think we all probably. I think we all probably have corona.
Yeah.
COVID-19, bro.
So, what makes you believe that?
I mean, the sniffles, the cough.
Sounds like the flu.
You know,
You just got a cold and a cough. Oh,
yeah.
Is it winter?
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Is it winter?
Yeah.
Oh. So it just sounds like the cough, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think. I'm not too worried about it.
I'm fucking worried about it.
You are.
This is like some kind of.
Are you quarantining?
Kind of. I gotta say, I'm
Are
being
you
really,
social distancing?
No, so I'm definitely
That's what they say.
aware, right? So let's talk about that. So why are they banning the crowds thing? Why is toilet paper going out? Why is hand sanitizer being bought out? Because people are well aware that this is a it's fecal. It's all about poop, guys. No,
Shite.
okay. So the toilet paper. Coronavirus gives you diarrhea, right? The first thing you have to be concerned about is if you catch a fever. Diarrhea. You're gonna start getting diarrhea. You got coronavirus. You got diarrhea. Then it's gonna turn into fever. If you got fever, the what kills you after if you don't break the fever, what kills you is respiratory failure. The fever to your brain, the first thing that shuts off is respiratory. So that's what's killing people. Those are the stages of it.
Yeah, China had their first double
What's
lung
so
transplant.
dangerous about it is because you get that fever, you still have that diarrhea, and your loved ones are taking care of you. Now, in these Italian homes, their loved ones, the fever, that while they're trying to break the fever, they're having diarrhea, and it's contagious on their shit. It's fecal oral transported, so everyone in the house catches it to various degrees. Not everyone gets the fever and respiratory failure because their immune systems can fight it off.
Right.
But you have to continue fighting off. The second you're compromised,
mutated bats. Huh?
the second you're compromised, you get a fever. The second you get a fever, not the second. I shouldn't be speaking in these seconds, but that's how quick. It's in days, guys. It's in days that you make the flip. How did it all start? Bats. Parasitic bats out of Wuhan market.
Parasitic bats.
No culture in the world is dumb enough to sell bats to the people. Every culture on the planet knows
They're a rodent, aren't
if
they?
a bat bites you, you die.
Yeah.
All civilizations have figured this out.
It's not
when
Batman.
It's why we left the caves. It's why we left the caves.
It's just a Batman joke.
This isn't Batman.
Yeah, but
I'm Batman.
Batman was not bit by a bat.
Batman was not bit by a bat. He would have died. Bruce Wayne would have died had he been bitten by a bat.
Batman was just an orphan.
He's just an orphan. The Batman legacy. Dude, this is the plot to The Dark Knight. Ra's al Ghul, to kill Gotham, was going to
Great flick, by the way. Would you want to watch the flick?
Totally going to watch
Yeah.
it keeps coming up.
Great flick.
Keeps coming
Great
up
flick.
on the Netflix should watch.
Good flick.
Fucking great series.
Good flick.
All three of them. We're on quarantine. Why would we not watch the trilogy on Netflix?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
I mean, not today, but I mean, if we're going to be doing this for the next however long. But I want to get back to the Wuhan bats.
Should probably be working from home.
Yes, if you're capable of working from home, you should be working from home. Now, people, this doesn't mean don't get outside. Just stay away from crowds. Stay out of the public restrooms. That's why they're shutting down these big events like the NBA, because there's these mass gatherings where everyone is eating this food, the nachos and pizza that give people mass diarrhea, and the corona-carrying virus people are blowing up public restrooms, and it's in the air, and you inhale it, and you now have coronavirus, and now you are a carrier.
Dude, do you remember when
That's
we
how
came back
contagious
from
this
LA?
is. Yes.
We had coronavirus?
Yes. We had coronavirus coming back from LA. Our systems
We got it.
we're young and strong, so we're asymptomatic, but we're not getting better. Look how much worse you've gotten since you've started depleting yourself.
What do you mean?
You look a bit more sickly these days. You have less you have less energy. You're 100% drained. You're coughing. You're sneezing. I am too.
I wouldn't say so.
But I'm being fueled by coffee and tea. I've switched to tea. I've been drinking a ton of green
tea.
Green
Is that
tea
right?
at night.
Tea?
I'm drinking tea and orange juice.
Tea.
Tea and orange juice. I'm keeping it strong.
There's
Vitamin C is great for your immune
It
system.
is. Yeah, there's some sugar in orange juice. But you're not bothered by that. Maybe it's like eggs. It's like
I don't
eggs.
mind sugar.
It's like eggs.
Sugar is not the enemy. Well,
So,
sugar
about
is
those
an
M&Ms?
enemy, but
What about
I've
those
made
M&Ms?
sugar my friend.
You down for those M&Ms?
Right now, I'm not gonna.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I love M&Ms. If I'm going into the apocalypse, I'm gonna have some M&Ms.
You're gonna have a one of those drop pouches in your kit that's just full of M&Ms.
I'll always have one of those bags. That's an immediate like.
You know when you're wearing your kit and you got
Ammo. Yeah.
yeah, well just like where you
I have it in a cargo pocket.
yeah.
What I'll probably start rocking is I got the overalls. I'm probably gonna start wearing a lot of overalls outside. I think overalls are good
Yeah. You see yourself as an overall guy?
in times like this.
Yeah.
Carhartt overalls, something thick, a lot of pockets,
Warm, durable.
resistant. Resistant.
Yeah.
It's not gonna. The waistline. You could catch coronavirus on the waistline. Not in.
That's where it's transferred.
That's where it's transferred. So that's kind of where we stand on that, huh?
Yeah.
Tom Hanks,
Yeah.
critical condition
Wow.
in a hospital. They can't do anything for him. They got him on quarantine, keeping him up on fluids, and he's circling the drain. He's been updating on Twitter.
Wow.
Like he's not good.
What
out
if
there.
some people go crazy and off themselves?
People might start. I don't want to put that kind of panic out in the world, Alex. I don't think we're 20 minutes into this thing. I don't think we should talk about people offing themselves during the quarantine days. We're just weeks into this
Because
bro.
of coronavirus.
The stores are still open. We're still allowed to leave our homes. That's the question, though, because that is the next stage after this big testing. So the new thing,
China.
the new mass testing, like China, the new mass testing is going to dictate what percentage of the population has this virus, and the only way to stop its spread is to stop seeing each other.
Right.
You have to stop interacting until there's a vaccine, right? That's how they're saying it could be a year. We might have to do this for a year, for 2 years. This seriously might be the culture in America, in the world.
No way.
It's so contagious, dude. Right?
Until they find a vaccine. Did you see
There
Trudeau,
has
the Canadian Prime Minister?
Yeah.
His wife is infected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many people are.
Yeah. It's crazy how, a virus like this hits all people the same, regardless of how much money you have or what your status is or anything like that,
There's absolutely no mercy.
Everyone will get corona.
If you interact, because it's everyone who introverts won't, hermits won't. If you isolate yourself, the guys living in cabins in Talkeetna, Wyoming, there's like no cases yet of exposure out there, and like those people out on ranches, they're gonna be fine. People that have been living out on the ranches that know how to the human race will go on. The borders might change, 100%. Like we don't know what's gonna happen here. Like government, the economy's shutting down.
Mm-hmm.
They're freezing bills, dude. We're not going to have to pay our bills. They're just saying, stop, people. Everyone needs to relax. This shit will kill you. Like, we've been working, dude, for the last 100 years, we've been working so hard to increase our lifespan. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? This just wrecks you between 50 and 85. You catch a fever and you stop breathing.
Millennials are drinking Coronas because of it.
Yes. We're underestimating it entirely because we're like, it doesn't affect me. I'm fine. But it will in 25 years. Or for the next year and a half, it's going to kill everyone older than us. It's going to wipe out old people.
It's going to wipe them out.
It's going to wipe out old people.
There's a lot of boomers.
It's something you could, exactly. And it's something you could say, is this like, was this part of the plan? They know it was going to wipe out the old people. We get a cure and it would just wipe out enough voters for this election. What if this is like Hillary Clinton's plan to take back the Democratic Party? This is just an operation. What if the Clinton Foundation is really it's not Jeff Bezos, or it's Jeff Bezos teaming up with Hillary? What if they were the supervillains?
No, I'm sure they have.
Jeff Bezos looks like Lex Luthor. They are literal supervillains. Yeah. They are literally supervillains. Real-time supervillains. They would totally do this. To win the election, they would wipe out all the voters, the voters that are going to vote Republican, conservatives, millennials. We're going to survive this.
Yeah.
And our lifespan will increase. It'll go back to normal because we'll get a vaccine in a couple years as long as they want us in here. Maybe they never find a vaccine because they like us quarantined, like us in our cages.
Who knows? You know how sometimes people get a vaccine? Like, you ever get a flu shot and then you get sick?
Yeah.
After getting a flu shot?
Yeah.
What if it's that kind of situation?
It's 50-50. You're either giving it to me or you're not, or I'm not going to get it.
Yeah. Like, what if it's that kind of situation?
You either have it and you die or you're immune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could just take your chances on, like, you don't have it, so don't give it to me, and maybe I get it, and maybe but like
until maybe when I get the fever, we break the fever, and then give it to me.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I had diarrhea. No, I'm not getting the vaccine because I have diarrhea. I had Chipotle yesterday. Let's just fucking relax, Jan.
I think that's how I'd like to play that.
That's definitely a move.
I play a little risky.
So we're not gonna get tested. No matter what happens, I feel like, you know what? We should totally wait it out. Before we get put on that list, we should wait. We're a couple guys that are going to survive for a long time. All right? We can wait it out.
I might go to the parking lot and see if it is in a Walmart parking lot, if anyone's down to raid the Walmart. I could stage rally.
We will be the community leaders.
I would like to raid.
We will be, when the time comes to conduct raids, we will conduct raids. Now, there's a difference between conducting a raid and a looting.
That's right. It's martial law, so we're using this for,
We're going to stay on the side.
It's being commandeered.
I'm going to stay on the side of local law enforcement.
Not just local.
For the time being.
Just law enforcement.
Yeah. Well, if they start putting out National Guard stuff, I'd probably get called to duty. Honestly, a safe place to be is probably within the walls of J-Bear. Like if we got called in there, like if like this was like something happening, I wouldn't mind. Although those guys are slobs and they totally have it.
They do, and
But-
there's like pilots
But they're
that go to
gonna
China and stuff. And
Yeah,
like,
but
you
we
know.
already have it too. Oh, but they're gonna make us test and regulate. Now we
Yeah.
should just totally hold an observation.
You're under
post
complete
here.
control.
Dude, I'm telling you, we're gonna be able to own Grand Canyon's Men Club. The thing about
Yeah.
it is, like, the first thing that happens is look at the resources we have directly here. The first buildings we get to raid, we have a quilt shop. We have Jimmy Sushi. They're gonna have rice. They're gonna have stores, right?
Yeah.
There's the coffee shop. We're gonna have coffee. We could become coffee kings in the apocalypse. People are gonna want coffee. We get all the coffee from Jitters. We're gonna have to cut this part out. This is the master plan.
It will also be more of
We have a bookstore.
you know, Jitters is known as a meeting spot. It's
It's a gathering of the community, and they are gonna need
that's what
the community leaders will need loss prevention. They'll need people that can conduct raids and live defensively and create a defensive
honorable
perimeter.
men.
Honorable men to defend the city walls and protect.
The coronavirus.
There's gonna be renegades, man. There's gonna be biker gangs.
Oh,
going
there
around
is.
trying to take women. That's what LA's gonna turn into, bro.
Guys sitting backwards on a motorcycle with a crowbar.
No, we have a great perimeter to defend here.
Oh.
We're gonna
do.
Eagle River, Alaska will be a strong point in this. I'm not moving. I'm
No.
not moving. I'm not leaving. There's no way I can make the drive. There's no way I can make the drive. To go to Seattle and be homeless? You know, like that was my plan. I was gonna go to Seattle and be homeless. You know, living rent free for a month in someone's house. Just going to the coffee shops, using the Wi-Fi. Sleeping in my car sometimes. Like that was the plan. Play rugby, like sleeping in my car at the parking lot of the facility. Like if I had a locker room, I was literally just gonna sleep in my car, but live at the facility, doing editing, their Wi-Fi. Like they have cafes and stuff.
Go until they kick you out.
Yeah, I was gonna be the guy that just lived there until you kicked me out. When you kicked me out, I went to bed. When I woke up, I went and did it again. That's the life. That's the lifestyle change I was gonna do. All in all, you know, keeping in touch with the brain trust, the loved ones, and the family.
Yeah. I mean, maybe like
You know that plan. Guidance.
that sounds like a great plan, but maybe
Not anymore.
But maybe a place to live would be something that would.
I have a car
Yeah, but
and the facility.
yeah.
I'd be great for the team. Everyone would love me. People would offer me dinner sometimes. They'd find out I think he lives here.
There you go. Yeah.
I think he lives here. We should invite him over for dinner. All right, he seems like a nice guy. He told me some jokes one time. Really funny guy. Anyway, can't do that anymore. I gotta wait this thing out here. What happens if I'm 2 days into my trip in the middle of Canada, and they fucking close off the borders,
And Trudeau's what? Yeah, but
and
yeah.
I can't get back?
Yeah.
Trump says no one in,
Yeah.
and I can't get back in the United States. It's breaking news that fast. It could totally happen within the 3 days I'm in Canada. Over the next 2 weeks, right? And I get stuck in Canada. Now I would survive. I'd have to go back.
True.
It'd be tough.
You'd be on your own. You wouldn't know anyone.
Who knows where I?
You'd be an American.
Who
They'd
knows
think
where
of
I land?
they would already kind of think of you as a nuisance
Exactly.
in an apocalypse situation. You would be an outsider to them.
No, they'd like me. I'd go to the pub and I'd talk rugby.
You would, but they would know you're not from there. They could. They've
And
got.
I would explain my
they've got
situation.
access.
I would.
Yeah.
They would find.
I have no doubt you could win them over.
They wouldn't
but
kill me.
I have no doubt
They
you
wouldn't
could.
chase me out of town with pitchforks. They would give me a room.
No
to rent.
doubt you could win them over.
I could rent a room.
I have no doubt you
wait it
could.
out.
I have no doubt you could win them over.
Maybe we should go to Canada and wait this out. No. We stay here where we know it.
All I'm saying is, I think that they would immediately think of you as an outsider. Think about it if you know, I don't know, there was a random Canadian.
What defines an outsider?
You're not from their country. Tracking?
Yeah, so an outsider not from their country. So you think it's a nationalist thing. But I'm white. They'll see that I'm white.
Yeah.
I speak English. They speak English. And I talk rugby. I could talk their language.
They speak French.
I don't think they...
A lot of them speak French.
Because that's the thing is, like, Mexico. Mexicans, very proud. They definitely see nationality. They'd see gringo. They'd see white guy for sure. But if you're brown, it's they love it. Skin color goes a long way if you're getting stranded somewhere. 100%. There's no denying that. And to have that same card, and then it's also being able to speak their literal language. They're going to be able to speak English. We're going to speak English, so that's going to be okay. Versus if I got stuck in, say, Mexico, I don't speak Spanish very well. Be a whole different scenario. There's multiple ways to. Everyone, you're an outsider to every stranger you meet, right? But there's multiple ways you can make that connection to be an insider.
To win them over.
Yes.
Yeah. No. And that's really what it's all about.
It's really it's usually just being able to share culture, to connect cultures, to connect. Oh yeah, rugby. I play rugby in mine. You guys play rugby in yours. Let's talk about rugby. And you're an insider now. In
Love
Canada.
talking about rugby.
I can always talk about rugby.
Always talking about rugby.
Rugby's nothing but rugby. Now,
not right now.
Yeah.
Nothing but coronavirus.
Now, if that didn't work, if it wasn't a rugby bar, maybe George St. Pierre. I talk MMA to them. Maybe I talk GSP and Canadian fighters. That's like the first one that comes to mind. Who?
Rory McDonald.
I would definitely spread a Google on it. But you're like Googling Canadian MMA fighters. How many are there? Name 5. I bet you can name 5. I bet we can name 5. So we got GSP, Rory McDonald. The list goes on.
Elias Thurdeau.
I know there's so many more of them. There's so many. There's a heavyweight.
I'm trying to think. There's
every country has fighters.
There's some female ones too.
Less followers to it, but every country has followers. It is a international sport. Combat sports is international.
It is. It absolutely is.
It's a good way to go. Like here, I'm just another American. But if I go fight in another country, I'm the American. Like if you know what I'm saying. If I go fight a bunch of Frenchmen, I'm just the American that fights Frenchmen in France. It's probably not the best example. In other, probably have to go somewhere in Asia, maybe build a following in the Asian culture.
That's all I got, man. 3 of them.
No, there's so much more than 3. We're not Googling it though.
Not gonna look down. Fact check us.
But yeah, it's just about making to not be an outsider, just making that insider connection, and it just comes with talking about culture. I mean, how many Canadian artists could we talk about? None. That would not be a connection I could make in their culture, but art is part of the culture. I could talk about Drake and how much I hate him, but that's not going to go good. Drake's a Canadian. That would keep me as an outsider if I talk about Drake and how shitty he is and how you guys sold Justin Bieber to us. Right. Canadians, they're not going to like that connection necessarily. Maybe on an open mic, if they thought I was trying to be a funny American, maybe they think I'm cheeky. I think I am a Shania Twain fan.
Yeah, there you go. So who doesn't love a little bit of Shania Twain?
She's a wonderful girl, Shania Twain. Isn't it I Feel Like a Woman?
Man,
I feel roller rink. I remember going to the roller rink and skating around with the boys.
Dude,
and the crew.
You remember those days? Fucking all the fucking emotions. I just picture like how I was when I went to the roller rink, maybe 9 to 13, or so, like in that age range.
Yeah.
All the fucking emotion and shit, man. The wind would blow and it'd get your dick hard, man. Just that fucking song. You're just fucking.
Roller rinks were really fucking cool for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, because it, and it started as an adult market.
What was the spot?
It started as an adult.
There was like sometimes the pool in the summer.
Yeah, in the 90s it became the youths. Mm-hmm. It became a youth's winter spot. But it started as like the disco in the 80s, right? Or 70s, excuse me. In the 70s, the roller disco, right?
Yeah.
So these buildings got made because adults wanted to go do coke and party there and fuck. Right. But like, like, people that were owning that was like, God damn it, I can't have a business doing this all the time. I got the fucking police coming all the time. I got fucking drug cartels getting busted into this. Fuck this. And they started marketing it to youth. Because the youth didn't bring that racket, but the youth got to have just as much fun.
And the parents are coming anyway.
Parents were like, "Oh, cool, my kid can do it now." I grew out of that. Look at me, I'm an adult now. I grew out of that. I don't. That is.
Wouldn't it have been awesome to live in the glory days of those being a parent? back when
you didn't have every asshole telling you how to do it,
and
the government
just go to
stepping
a roller rink and skating, fuck.
Not anymore. Not with the
Stick your hand in the
coronavirus.
popcorn and just.
Yeah, dude. Parents are gonna go so stir crazy with their kids in their houses.
Yeah.
I was talking to the family across the street about it. Because she was out playing.
Domestic
with the kids.
abuse gonna go up.
Oh man, maybe these are trying times. There's a lot of sympathy going on. I don't necessarily know if people are going to be getting frustrated like that. Like I really think people are going to find a lot of solvents in fucking. You know, I think there's going to be. I think orgies are going to make a big comeback.
Ooh. Even
but
though meeting people,
it's going to be like an underground spread thing. It's totally It's gonna totally mutate the virus to make it like spreadable through gonorrhea and make it even more super powerful.
there's a lot of ass to mouth
A lot of ass to mouth in an orgy.
Yeah. That kind of stuff going on. Those types of activities.
Tell me more about those types of activities. I could talk about orgies all day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my first orgy was at MAGAfest. Now, this was a relatively small one. It didn't start off as an orgy. It started off as a threesome, but quickly turned into a five people, and 5 naked people on a bed. I'm sorry, I believe I'm involved in an orgy.
Yeah.
Three men, 2 women.
Okay.
Big T and Andy Ashton.
Uh-huh.
Oh, to get this part up. Yeah.
Yep.
It was. I just gave his name. I'm stoned. Blank and blank. And then the 2 beautiful bras. We just it was when we were playing for the Bobs. We were just
yeah.
we all in the same hotel room, and
Yeah.
we all brought chicks back. And then so it was 3-on-3, but one chick wasn't down, so she left.
Right.
So we're like, all right, let's do a 3-on-2. We all know how to handle a 3-on-2. We're all gonna score on a 3-on-2.
Oh,
So we went at it, and it was
fucking airtight, huh?
airtight. It was a good time. Condoms all over the place. It was a good time. Eiffel Towers. It was fun.
Airtight.
So that,
Yeah.
but I think 5 is an orgy. I've had people
I'd
argue
say
that 5
so,
is, and
yeah.
I think it definitely is. 5 is.
Yeah.
That's 10 limbs. 15 if you count.
Yeah.
No, it's way more than 10 limbs. I suck at math. 5 times 5. 25 limbs if you count the head as a limb. 25 different limbs of getting
That's
a possibility hit with and coordinating and like,
Slot.
is that a man
Is that
foot?
including dicks?
Don't touch me with that man
Is that
foot.
including dicks?
No, that would be 3 dicks.
Right. So 25.
3 dicks. How many
25
holes
limbs.
though on those 2 honeys? Plenty of holes on those 2
Six.
honeys. We were never.
Unless we're going for ears.
Yeah, we did it. It was relatively clean.
Behind the knee.
That one was relatively clean.
No coronavirus.
At the time, I don't even know if it existed. This
Probably
COVID-19 didn't exist. I'm sure it was COVID-16 back then. Because every year there is a different coronavirus. It's been going around for a long time. So COVID-19 is the coronavirus 2019, because that's when the strand showed up, right? Every time there's a new one, it gets a new ID number or ID year in this case. So it's always existed. It's just never been this contagious. It's never been fecal to mouth contagious.
Right.
It mutated. It's always been cough contagious and highly contagious from the cough, but you got to cough directly in. It just happens in the household. And
Droplets.
It's droplets, and it's just so less common. It gets treated the same as the flu. But now it fucking transports on poop.
You know, it's something you don't hear anyone talking about is the end game. What does this look like? Like, really, what are, military focuses on 5 meter, 100 meter and 300 meter targets. We know our 5 meter target is to fucking disinfect. Some people are staying home, quarantining. Got it. What are the 100 meter and 300 meter target for this?
Vaccine and then mass
Well, okay. But
delivery.
Until then.
Right. Stay in your homes.
Like
Don't
that's-
riot. Keep the people supplies. They're
Stay
free.
in your homes. How long? For how long?
No, so stay in our homes. But we can get out, dude. We anytime we can get out and walk around. We
Okay,
can still
I
hike the
understand.
mountain.
I understand.
It's the public
but
restrooms. You can't have orgies. You can't have 25 people in your house.
Yeah.
You can't go to.
How long are we going to do this for, though?
Until we have a vaccine or get a handle on it. They don't even think they have a handle on it. They don't know how many people are infected. They don't know how many people are spreading it. So me and you can't go to these football games.
MLR games.
We can't go to these games. Scream, shout, go into the restrooms. Everyone's going in the restrooms. You can't be having these mass gatherings.
In the trough.
It's a disease that attacks public, society, public. It attacks the ones you talk with, the ones you're with. You can't. It's at the grocery stores. It's not like a disease we've ever had we've never been attacked like this. Nothing in nature's ever mass.
SARS.
Yeah, SARS. So there's been plenty.
Yeah.
The bird flu in 1918 had some huge numbers. Yeah, it's not never, but
I don't know if people are even dying.
How was SARS contagious? SARS was contagious through sexual transmission, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on that.
The thing that we've been punched with, like everyone's like we weren't prepared for this. Mm-hmm. No one predicted a fecal transported disease that's lethal. We have fecal transported contagions. Nothing's ever been lethal from it.
Well, it's also
outside
transferred through like coughs and stuff.
Yes, but that's not
droplets.
Mass. That's not mass.
Droplets.
Yeah. Droplets. Yeah. Your boogers, fucking tears.
But
it's in everything. It's
also
in everything
eating ass.
Eating ass. We gotta get back on the eating ass. Stop eating ass. You guys, you can't eat ass. All right, it's fecal oral
I know everybody's doing it now. It's the new thing. But don't do it, okay? If you're doing it, stop doing it. Okay?
Just because she says on the Tinder date.
She says in her bio, buy me tacos and eat my booty. Don't do either of those things.
Alex Camps with public service announcement. Alex,
have her make you a sandwich.
Wash your hands. Alex, do you think that coronavirus is going to have an impact in the dating world? Like as it gets more serious, as the quarantines get more strict?
Yeah, I do believe. Yeah.
We can't be whores. It's what spreads it. Eating ass. There's fecal matter all involved in sex.
Eating ass. It is. Yeah. Oh, it's all over.
It's all over.
Yeah, you're
it's
naked.
all over. How often does a chick fart on you when you're fucking her? I've had that happen with plenty of chicks.
Yeah.
I would never be with a woman.
Sounds.
The second any girl has ever farted on me.
It's also like
during sex.
There's certain positions
never
if you're really getting after it, it like pushes air in there.
Yeah.
You know? And
yeah.
then
The queef. Yeah, that's different. Yeah, the air pocket thing up there. That's totally different than a fart.
Yeah.
Totally different than a fart.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Sometimes queefs can smell.
I feel like that's an achievement. Like I hit the squeaker, you know.
You ever had a smelly queef though? No.
Not to my recollection. I know they exist, but I've never smelled like a really bad one that was like cleared a room. Like I cleared a room. There's been men's farts, women's farts that have made me have to puke, but it's always come out the asshole.
I texted you about Homestead last night. I let off a few boomers at the fucking Homestead, dude.
Do you have diarrhea?
No.
You're not having diarrhea.
No. I've already had coronavirus, dude.
First sign of the coronavirus. First sign of it, but no. So you might already have it, right? So now, if we have it, if our immune systems get jeopardized while having it, you could go into the fever. If you don't break the fever's attack on your brain. It doesn't really. It fucks your brain up. A fever does. Mm-hmm. It shuts off your brain, activating the respiratory system. And that's what kills. That's the first thing that it shuts off, and that's why people are buying ventilators. That's what kills you. So
I think it's all overblown, dude. I really think it's not.
Hundreds of thousands of deaths worldwide in a span of 2 months, and we have no control on it.
Yeah, man.
the only containment we have is getting people to stay in, and people are staying in because it's the only way to stop it right now. Because it's on shit. It's in the public restrooms. All those international competitions, it's just carpet bombing the planet. And the more disgusting your culture, the more rampant it is. The quicker it spreads and the more deadly. It's the absolute truth. They're just not saying it like this because it's about poop.
They're saying it's coughs and sneezes.
Why is the toilet paper being sold out then? Why is the hand sanitizer being sold out then?
You gotta have hand sanitizer for your butthole.
People, the media.
What about the bidets?
Bidet is the way to go, is what I've heard.
Yeah, you feel good about bidet.
People, I think you all need to heed our words here. I'm not a credible source. Everything I've gotten is from YouTube and media, but I'm sleeping with a credible source. My girlfriend is an epidemiologist, and she has given me facts. She has given me info, and I've researched her sources. That's where a lot of my data has come from. My conflating, I know it sounds like a Tom Clancy novel. You could ignore the Jeff Bezos and Hillary Clinton team up, but wash your hands, wipe your ass, and don't use public restrooms. Just don't use public restrooms. Stay clear of public restrooms. Disinfect your toilet for your loved ones. Clean your bathrooms. That's it. That's how you guys beat this. And for right now, we just don't panic. You all right? Handle that immune system. Keep your immune system up. Keep taking your vitamins. All right? Keep a strong immune system going, and you won't be jeopardized. The second you start getting that diarrhea, the second you get that fever, you got to have protocols to get ventilators. Yeah, right. But if you have a fever, if your loved one has a fever, you need to get a ventilator on them. You need to get a breathing apparatus so that when their breathing does shut down, oxygen is still pumped. That's why the respiratory ventilators are being sold out. Oxygen tanks. That's what the preppers are buying, because that's what this disease attacks, and that's what the media is not telling us, because that's what's gonna make you panic and properly prepare.
What the media is not telling you.
What the world is hiding. It's respiratory failure, guys. If you have a fever, have breathing ventilators on hand. That is going to be that's the end game here. In Italy right now, they're having to choose who to let live and who to let die because they have run out of ventilators. They can't get any more. They are out. They literally have no more. And it's what's keeping half their elderly population alive and killing the other half. Diarrhea, fever, respiratory failure. In days. It can happen in days, weeks. You have to break the fever. Old people know how to break fevers. You can't let this wisdom die with them. And then stay out of those public restrooms, guys. Stop eating ass. Stop eating ass. The scare is that this is so highly contagious. All right. This has been On the Up. Cheers.